Creating a film that's set in London obviously is quite a daunting challenge. How do you represent such a gigantic and iconic city, but in quite a small scale film?
Very early on, two directors, Sarah and Yak, and our art director, Shannon Taylor, spent time in London, specifically visiting the places that have been a part of Axel's life, so where he has lived and worked, because we felt that was really coming through in his illustrations.
I was asked to make the drawings not to look like London, although I did have London in mind secretly. And I'm very happy that the film has this clear setting of London. I think that's a nice thing, that's a London story.
It was a big responsibility trying to represent London in Axel's style.
We try to look at what are the repeating motifs and elements and patterns that you see that make it distinctly London. And we try to pull those things out as props. And so we obviously lent on the things like red buses and the telephone booths. But we also try to look at what the pavement looks like, the paving stones, and even the little pieces of gum and so on that you might find on the streets. That just gives you a real sense that you're in the place. But then you need to pull back on all the detail that you would see in a photo, and you need to try and adapt that into the Magic Light style.
One of the challenges was that this film takes place over almost an entire year. The film starts with a beautiful crisp summer's morning, and it ends with a cozy early evening in the winter. We've got this moment when Fred's on the riverside, when we have this beautiful reunion between him and Tabby. The sun's setting, it's golden hour, and that came directly from walking on the promenade and experiencing that sunset.
The other challenge was just the number of characters and building a city.
We wanted it to reflect the richness of London's population, feel realistic to audiences, that there was life going on beyond the story, and that Tabby and Fred were a part of this huge, bustling city.
A lot of that is done with cheats and how you frame things, but you just can't get around sometimes. There were shots with just a lot of characters, and so there was a crowd team that did a lot of loops, and then you can bring those things in, and you'd have a number of animators working on the same shot. So you'd have some working on all the main characters and the cats and so on, and then a whole set of crowd would be brought in by another animator. So it was a real team effort to pull it off.
Yak and Sarah just sort of oozed enthusiasm, and obviously the sort of attention to detail and focus on everything, on every frame was kind of, it's always kind of inspiring when you work with somebody who's really trying to attain sort of perfection. It kind of, it's infectious. I mean, most animators are like that anyway. We always search for the perfect shot.